The President used 30 minutes, so we have more time for discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Dr. Peter Agre has brought us around the world from America to Africa and then to Asia, and then I think Professor have strong memories because he give the presentation just by picture. By picture, Professor can talk more about his experiences, his research, his diplomacy to the other countries. Because Professor, in Indonesia, we have some idea about the professor. Because Professor in Indonesia, for some time, is, what is this? Professor identical to forgot, lupa. But Professor Jones just have a strong memory to remember all of your activities during your work in your research and other activities. So, ladies and gentlemen, after this presentation, we would like to invite all of the audience to give to ask the professor many things about his experiences, because his presentation has inspired us. It's initiated us to do another activities, even not only in research, but as a career as a medical doctor, to open the world, through medical medicine. And then in this discussion, we would like to divide this session into 3 sessions, depend on the time allocation. The 8th session for 3 questions, and then depend for the question and answer. If we have more time, we continue until the 3 sessions, but at no time, because we are limit time, we just 2 sessions. And then now we invite all of the audience to hands up if you want to ask anything about the medical, about the malaria, maybe basic research aquaporin, maybe experience during the journey from Africa, from America to Asia, and other anything. Please, who the audience will ask to the Professor Dr. Peter Agre. Please hands up. Yeah, question number 1, please.
Good afternoon, Prof. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Yogi from Faculty of Medicine. I would like to ask you a question. To achieve peace in this multidisciplinary approach, science, economic, medicine, and etc. But I really find politics and science working together to achieve this. What do you think about this? Is there any way politics and science can work along, especially in international scale? Thank you.
Thank you. The question is, can science and politics work together? Well, I think this is a very important issue. And I must say, the United States has many wonderful qualities, but the scientific background of our politicians is not one of them. I think there's a special burden that the scientists in the United States, and maybe in other countries as well, to make the knowledge useful to the public, to the citizens, so the scientists can use their information in a very useful translational manner. For example, policies about the use of antibiotics. It's quite clear that antibiotic resistance is emerging because of the indiscriminate use of large amounts of antibiotics in animal feed, or the inaccurate prescription of antibiotics for non-appropriate causes. And I think this is where scientists working as advisory board members, or even themselves running for political office, can change the direction for society. Because the information is not useful until it is employed in the public. So I think this issue you raised is a very important one. And I'm not suggesting that you drop out of medical school to run for office. But maybe someday that would be a good thing to do. Keep it alive. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor. Please, for the second question.
Igede Putu Suparno Naba, staff of Biochemistry Department of Udayana University. You have a very extensive experience in basic research as well as clinical research and influence and community policy. What I want to ask is, how do you have any suggestion how we need to bridge from the basic research and then to clinical research and finally to have an impact in community policy maybe? Especially choosing the field of basic research that have a high opportunity to be translated into clinical research and then finally to influence the community policy. Thank you.
Thank you for a very important question. How do we bridge the distance between basic science, biochemistry for example, and clinical medicine? Oftentimes, members of the same faculty have information which they should share with each other, but unless they know each other, unless they attend each other's meetings, they may not share it. I think life in a silo may be very comfortable, but it will reduce the impact. And I don't think we always need to choose basic problems which are quickly going to be applied, but we should always be mindful. So in 1949, the year I was born, the first molecular disease was delineated with the discovery of sickle hemoglobin. This was by Linus Pauling. I showed this picture. Sickle cell disease is a terrible problem affecting individuals of African descent. And while we've understood the disease at a molecular level now for 68 years, we still don't have a good therapy. So knowledge is not always a guarantee. But let me then suggest another example. It is the emergence of the HIV infections in the 1980s, which were uniformly fatal, that the scientists responded and were able to develop therapies, antiretroviral therapies, which are now being used worldwide. We've changed what is a uniformly fatal disease into a lifelong chronic problem which can be managed. So this latter is an example where science responded very quickly. It can't always respond so quickly, but when the scientists communicate, so when the basic scientists attend the clinical meetings, when the clinicians attend the basic science meetings, when the students have a background in both, we increase the possibility of accomplishing this. I hope I've answered your question.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, from the next question.
Okay, so thank you for the time, Prof. My name is Salih from Medical Faculty of the University. I want to ask you about your experience, about your inspire. Why are you interested in go worldwide to find peace, rather than in your own country, rather than to live with your family or your son or daughter, and you go worldwide to find peace? That's all. That's my question. Thank you.
I think I understand that why am I interested in worldwide travel to bring peace? Well, the world is a very interesting place. As a student in high school, I had a wonderful opportunity to travel in the Soviet Union. This was 1966, the height of the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union were bitter enemies, yet what we discovered was friendliness by the Russian and Ukrainian people, which was very invigorating. So in part it was the opportunity I had as a young person to explore other countries. It gave me a lifelong fascination. And I think I don't wish to overstate the importance of our work in terms of science diplomacy. We're not official diplomats. Our goal is not to broker national policy. But I think by making friendships amongst the countries, good things can follow. So it's a sort of lower order scientific diplomacy. But I think the possibilities are real. And I think what I showed you in terms of the movement together in the United States and Cuba was in part fostered by the scientific collaborations. And most certainly the recent nuclear accord between Iran and the United States was facility because of two classmates at MIT, one Iranian and one American. So I think we should always focus our efforts on things at home. We're looking for opportunities abroad to be valuable, to be worthwhile, and you never know where they'll lead. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
My name is Getson Sumbati. I study mathematics. So you are telling us that science can be the source of peace, and that means the more science we have, the more possible to create peace. So my question is, how can make people interested to love science? Because only few people love science on Earth, and so we need more from the things that you're telling us. We need more. We truly need more scientists to create peace. So, what can you tell? What the things that you can tell us to love science? Thank you so much.
Thank you for that.
The more science, the more peace.
As I understand it, the question is, how can we increase the number of scientists so the scientific understanding of the society is increased? And I think we have to realize that most people are not scientists, but all children attend school and get some scientific background. And I think the importance of early childhood education, including the sciences, is very important. I don't think it has to be to such an advanced level, but some understanding that natural selection, for example, occurs. We clearly understand from agricultural work that breeding milk cows can be done randomly, or we can breed the most productive milk cow. And this is something that we all understand as natural selection, but there's some parts of society that will reject the notion that is ever described as evolution. So I think the scientists, in addition to doing their work, need to maintain a dialogue with the public and communicate in a very open and friendly manner. Not to overwhelm people with how much information they have, but to provide the context so that the non-scientists, and that's most people, can make proper decisions. I hope I answered your question.
Okay.
Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
Oh, okay. So I study mathematics, and I really love mathematics. And in my mind, I want to implant something new in mathematics someday. But I still do not understand. I need a philosophy of life. Can you tell me what philosophy do you hold in your life so you can, you can stand with science in all your, along your life. So what's the philosophy of your life?
What the idea is?
Do you have any philosophy to
Possibility?
me as a person who loves science so much, so I can stand up with science in my life? The philosophy of life.
Maybe you can give a suggestion, maybe a possibility how to make them still as a scientist.
Yeah.
Still a scientist. Not to do anything other.
Okay. I don't feel ideologically wedded to science, so I think I benefited immensely from a scientific career personally, and I hope it does things worthwhile to society as a whole. But I didn't enter science as a child with the idea that I would be a pure scientist. It was really the encouragement I had to become a medical doctor that caused me to study science, and later as a medical student to reconsider practicing medicine full-time from the possibility of doing some basic research in science related to disease. So I think it is really the experiences that I've had that have made me so positive about the potential value of science in my experience. Now, as a mathematician, You could go many directions that I can't go because I'm not skilled in mathematics. Certainly in biology, one of the hottest areas is computational biology. Studying massive databases, genomic information and the like, which only people with sophisticated mathematics and computer backgrounds can do. I think there's great potential for value for the kind of work you can do. And I'm sure when you achieve success, you'll feel gratified and you'll say, yes, I love science. I hope so. It's a great body. Thank you.
Thank you, please, for the next one. Student? Yeah. After that, Dr. Badana.
Thank you for the time. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Ainul. Currently, I'm majoring in international relations from.
Sorry, your name, please?
Ainul. Ainul, yes. From social and political science. Well, actually, I have two questions. My question
One
first.
question, please.
Okay. We believe that medical aid is one of the effective tools for diplomacy from states to states. Based on your experience as practitioners in medical, how effective and how it works the medical tools as the diplomacy tools for your interest? Thank you.
Yeah, next question.
Well, I think the United States has been blessed with unbelievable wealth. The economic advances, in large part, were because of the scientific discoveries made on university campuses. And it's, I think, generally accepted that unto whomsoever much is given, much will be required. That's written in the Christian Bible. And I think in Hindu, Buddhism, Islam, similar understandings exist. Those with wealth and resources should help those with less wealth and resources. Not necessarily because we're trying to buy their friendship, but to do the proper thing so that children can grow up and have happy and normal lives. And I think the byproduct is international friendship. And certainly, while there have been profound political differences in the two parties in the United States, one thing that has been agreed upon for a long time is the value of medical aid. And two examples that I'd like to remind people here are the President's Malaria Initiative and the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR. And these were in fact provisions of medical treatments, particularly to sub-Saharan Africa, which have had profound positive effects in terms of the public health policy, translating to improved health, normal lives, and we believe friendships have resulted as well. So I think that the objective is not to buy friends, but to do the proper thing, and when friendships result, that makes it even more wonderful. Did I answer your question? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Prof. Dr. and Udayana from Dermatology Department of Udayana University. I have a brief and simple question about two areas of your experience. The first one, your experience is aquaporin. How aquaporin makes cellular injury or cellular stress in the body? Because cellular stress is very important role in the some disease. Yeah? As we know, head shock protein, so also as a cellular injury is the same cellular head shock protein and aquaporin. The first.
One question, please.
The second one.
Why don't I answer the first question first? So the gentleman raises the issue of cellular stress. And cells either in culture or within an organism are stressed by thermal stress, acidosis, or something of that sort. It's quite clear that the aquaporins allow us to defend ourselves. For example, thermal stress. Here in Bali, the temperatures are oftentimes 40 degrees. The ability to sweat allows us to cool ourselves. Now, heat shock protein also is a natural product which, through other mechanisms, protects the cells by mechanisms I don't really understand. It doesn't appear to be transmutation of fluid, but more of an integration into nuclear proteins which protect the cells. So I think there are multiple ways to protect that may complement, but may not necessarily be the same. I hope I answered your first question.
Yeah.
What is the second question, please?
Second question?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, second question, not question. Yeah. In the end of the program, I would like to give small token for you. The book about the 7 Nobel Laureate on science and spirituality. Yeah. This is for you. Maybe this is small.
Special gift from Dr. Madana tentu.
Small books, yeah. Maybe very useful for next.
Okay, thank you so much. I look forward to reading your book on science and spirituality.
You want to read it now? Okay, please come.
Thank you.
This is science. Okay, yeah. This is science.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, Professor. My name is Lan Jana. I'm coming from the School of Nursing, Faculty of Medicine, Udayana University. I think I have the same topics about the aquaporins of the channel that I saw interesting in your research before about the aquaporins of water channels. And we know about the 2/3 of human body is based on the water. And also we know about the osmosis process in human body. And can you share your knowledge, or could you explain us about the how's the rule of aquaporins for the channels in our body? In human body. That's all. Thank you.
Sure, the aquaporins play important roles in multiple human functions. So the notion of a pore or water across a cell membrane doesn't sound particularly exciting until you realize, you think that our brains are sustained by floating on a body of cerebrospinal fluid, which results from water moving across the choroid plexus. So the problems of brain swelling after head injury are actually a manifestation of aquaporin water transport at the blood-brain barrier around capillaries of the brain. Problems with glaucoma in our eyes, the increased pressure, aqueous humor release occurs ahead of the reabsorption and the pressure rises. The ability to release saliva or sweat, dry mouth leads to oral cavities, aspiration pneumonia. The ability to concentrate our urine. This is due to the aquaporin pathways. And plants, of course, since all organisms have aquaporins, plants also have aquaporins. So here on the podium in front of me is an attractive bouquet of flowers. Each of these grew from rootlets taking the water from the ground. So the pathway is fundamental, and the molecular and physiological events are numerous. Probably too numerous to go into in greater detail in a public occasion like this. But if you check the internet, I'm sure you'll find a lot of interesting information about the aquaporin. Thank you for this important question.
Thank you. Teja, I am from Udayana University, School of Medicine. First of all, I would say I am very honored and very grateful for the inspiring lecture by Dr. Peter Agre. So I think the lecture matches the title perfectly in terms of opening door for white for medical science. So my question is unrelated to your research. I and my colleagues here are also students of medical science, students of medicine. So my question is, how can we, as the students of science,
help in opening door for like how do we bridge the gap between our understanding of medical science and bringing this forward to science. I think that is my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Good places.
Well, the notion of science diplomacy sounds very grand. Sometimes students ask me how they can get involved in science diplomacy, and I think through the scientific studies, you gain the credibility to have something special. I think the ability to study oftentimes in other parts of the country or other countries brings an opportunity to make international friendships. And I think with the success in the scientific career, opportunities will become possible. Certainly as a young scientist, before the Nobel Prize, there were far fewer opportunities for me. And it's really the point of my scientific career had blossomed that interest was such that I felt I had something to contribute. So I think you'll have to concentrate on your studies and seek the opportunities as they come. And it will largely be determined by the success in your regular career, whether it's as a basic scientist or a clinical scientist or a clinical practitioner. But the interest will definitely be there. And the years go by very quickly. Be patient. You'll make an important contribution, and that'll be much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last question from India. Okay, please.
Okay, thank you for your time. My name is Daisy. I am from Mathematics and Natural Science Faculty. And my question is, as I am a student, what real action I must do to develop my basic science so I can appreciate in human rights?
Daisy, I think the last question had sort of a similar theme. You're a young person, and you're doing the proper thing by applying yourself to your studies here at Udayana University. And being a science student is not a part-time endeavor. It's very demanding. The courses are difficult. And so I think continuing your diligent work in the classroom and looking for opportunities in the laboratory, as success is achieved, you'll have many opportunities to contribute to science in a global effort, starting with perhaps attending scientific conferences when it's possible. Of course, it's not easy. This all costs money for travel, but I think the opportunities will be there. So, like with the last question, I encourage you to pursue your studies, be patient, and as success is achieved, the opportunities will emerge. Trust me.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's a good discussion because the question came from students, from the lecturer and others. So the topic is wide, from not only in medical medicine as a basic research, but application applied research and another topic in human life. So if we can make a conclusion for this general lecture and discussion, this Professor Peter Agre has divided his lecture into four. It is about the science upbringing, science as international career, science in human rights, and science for diplomacy visit. And then, according to the general lecture, we think we all together agree with the comment from Professor Peter Agre that the potential of medical science should continue to be explored and is a source of great optimism for an otherwise troubled planet. Yeah, I think that's the conclusion for this general lecture. Thank you to Professor Peter Agre. Please, big applause to the Professor. Thank you, and it's an honor to guide you for this general lecture. And then this is the last time for me to conduct this presentation and thanks to the Master of Ceremony. Thank you. penganugerahan Doktor Kehormatan Doktor Honoris Causa.
Inauguration of honorary doctorate degree in medicine to Professor Dr. Peter Agre from Udayana University.
Rektor didampingi Dekan Fakultas Kedokteran dipersilakan.
I would like to invite Rector of Udayana University and Dean of Faculty of Medicine to proceed to the stage for the inauguration procession.
Dekan Fakultas Kedokteran dan Profesor Dr. Peter Agre dimohon tetap di tempat.
Please kindly remain at the stage.
Penyerahan kenang-kenangan dan sesi foto. Mr. Uwe Morawetz dan Mr. Daniel Bernardik dipersilakan naik ke panggung untuk menyerahkan penghargaan kepada Profesor Dr. Peter Agre.
We would like to invite Mr. Uwe Morawetz and Mr. Daniel Bernardik to proceed to the stage to present token of appreciation to Professor Dr. Peter Agre.
Rektor dipersilakan menyerahkan kenang-kenangan kepada Profesor Dr. Peter Agre dan Mr. Uwe Morawetz didampingi Dekan Fakultas Kedokteran.
Rector of Udayana University will hand over the token of appreciation for Professor Dr. Peter Agre, Mr. Uwe Morawetz, and Mr. Daniel Bernardik.
Rektor Dekan Fakultas Kedokteran Profesor Dr. Peter Agre, Mr. Uwe Morawetz, dan Mr. Daniel Bernardik dimohon kembali ke tempat.
Please kindly be back seated.
Hadirin dimohon berdiri. Penutupan sidang senat upacara akademik oleh Rektor. Rektor dipersilakan. dengan sekali lagi memanjatkan puja dan puji syukur kehadapan Diri Sang Widiwasi, Tuhan Yang Maha Esa, serta mengucapkan banyak terima kasih atas partisipasi para undangan dan permohonan maaf atas segala kekurangan yang terjadi sidang senat upacara akademik dalam rangka penganugerahan Dr. Honoris Causa kepada Profesor Dr. Peter Agre hari Jumat tanggal 24 Maret 2017 dinyatakan ditutup.
Rektor dipersilakan kembali ke tempat.
Profesor Dr. Peter Agre, Dewan Penyantum, Rektor, serta anggota Senat Universitas Udayana segera meninggalkan ruang upacara. Pedel dipersilakan menuju tempat yang telah ditentukan. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of General Lecture and Inauguration of Honorary Doctorate for Professor Peter Agre from Udayana University. Thank you very much for coming and participating in this event. Hadirin yang kami hormati, sampai di sini selesai sudah seluruh rangkaian kuliah umum dan upacara penganugerahan Doktor Kehormatan Dr. Honoris Causa untuk Profesor Dr. Peter Agre oleh Universitas Udayana. Kami mengucapkan terima kasih atas perhatian dan partisipasinya telah berkenan menghadiri upacara ini. Hadirin yang kami hormati, acara formal telah berakhir. Kami mohon untuk tetap bersama kami di sini untuk pengundian door prize sesi kedua, di mana ada banyak sekali hadiah dan telah Anda saksikan di depan. Ada satu buah sepeda persembahan dari Universitas Udayana dan juga para sponsor.
Selanjutnya masih dengan hadiah yang sama, yaitu satu polo shirt dari CIP adalah peserta dengan nomor door prize 1761. Ayo keluar dulu dari tempat persembunyiannya. 1761. Tepuk tangannya ada, orangnya nggak kelihatan. Apa yang ditepuk tanganin saya? 1761. Angkat tangannya, ada? Ada atau enggak nih? Awas ya. Nomor 1305. Ayo, coba yang lagi main-main HP nih. Tuh. Jangan loncat ya Mas ya. Kaosnya nggak kemana-mana kok. Baiklah, yang menang biar cepat langsung ke bagian pembagian hadiah. Jadi nggak usah ditanya-tanyain lagi. Nanti yang lainnya pada nggak sabar ya. Malah saya yang bisa di sini lagi. Terus selanjutnya lagi. Bentar, nggak usah catat dulu. Memenangkan. Ayo lo. Ternyata. Apa boleh pilih sih? Ya. 1, 6, 4, 2. Oh iya, ini dia nih, berbaju hijau. Ini menangin ya apa aja lah yang ada di sana ya. Konsentrasi ya. 0760. Menang gitu, wah saya update status dulu, baru teriak ya. Selanjutnya, nah saya kocok-kocok deh biar adil nih, biar adil ya. Sebentar, manja deh ini ya di sini. 0913, ada? Nah itu tuh mbaknya pasti tadi dia update status dulu kayak saya. Kalau saya update status dulu baru gerak ya. Selanjutnya adalah nomor 0522. Yeay, dari Kubu Utara. Tapi saya tahu dia itu. Ada nggak? Oke ada. Nah karena ini door prize utama sepeda, jadi saya mau minta relawan aja deh kalau gitu. Nanti saya mau minta relawan saya. Saya udah nunggu ini. Oke ya Mas ya, saya minta bantuannya ya. Soalnya saya selalu kalau Mas di, betul Mas. Saya mau nanya, Mas masih di sini karena apa?
Memilih sepeda.
Oh beneran memilih sepeda. Biasa kita doakan saja ya teman-teman ya. Kalau gitu jangan Masnya deh, muncul temannya aja deh. Nanti kalau Masnya menang saya dikira kerja sama lagi dari ngajak Masnya terus. Ayo kita lihat ini dia sebagai pemenang hadiah utama. Tapi dia juga belum ada ya orangnya, jadi kalian baca-baca doa dulu lah. Baca-baca doa, minta restu dulu lah sama teman-temannya ya. Ini adalah pemenang dengan nomor undi. Pokoknya kemungkinan kebetulan orangnya ada lah ya di sini ya. Amin dong, amin. Kosong. Orangnya belum ada. Kayaknya masuk pojok deh, biar kalau nggak ada nggak digebukin. Galak nih. Siapa yang kosong depannya? Wah ini dia nih, peserta yang terpilih nih, yang mana dari delegasi? 3. Ini masih ada 7. Siapa yang ngomong 37? Siapa yang ngomong 37? Siapa lagi yang ngomong 37? Yang mau bilang ini udah sama. Maksudnya mau ya? Mau ya? 037 ada lagi? Ada ya? Nah ini Bu, biar saya nggak dikira KKN, Ibu yang bacain. Siapakah pemenangnya? 0371. The big door prize of today. Ini dia, kita kasih tepuk tangannya dong. Terima kasih untuk para hadirin dan teman-teman saya alma mater di Universitas menutup acara ini. Tanpa mengurangi rasa hormat, saya ucapkan terima kasih banyak dan sampai jumpa.